handsome, bonitillo, así me dicen en Puerto Rico. Las mujeres a los gritos, ustedes no pueden conmigo. Handsome, bonitillo, así me dicen en Puerto Rico. Las mujeres a los gritos, ustedes no pueden conmigo. Look, I know I joke and write funny raps, but I really feel for you ugly cats. That's a pain I can't imagine.
Ladies and ugly men, attention please. Over here. Most of you know me, most of you don't. Actually, most of you do. Anyway, I'm Hanson Contreras. I'm Manny's sidekick. That's how most people know me. They're like, what do you do? Nothing, just hang out with Manny, help him out. You know what I mean? I'm his eyes on tech and all that extra that he doesn't understand. So, today's presentation, for all of you in here, is direct mail actually works. Getting leads via direct mail with Hanson and Manny. Now, why it's named this. How we ended up using direct mail. I named it this because I had no faith in direct mail. I thought this was a joke. Matter of fact, I come from like the cold calling world, so I'm used to like buying lists, calling people, hitting them phones. Direct mail to me was something of the past, but obviously Manny saw something different. And he called me up it was like a Saturday. He's like, hey, I'm at this event. This lady speaking, she's talking about all this stuff that they do. They got a 6% rate. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was excited. And then he's like, it's mailers. In my head, I didn't tell him though. I was like, bro, this guy's bugging, bro. I say 2003. What are we doing over here? But I was wrong. I was wrong, and thankfully I was wrong because it netted us a good deal. So I'm gonna go over the process of what we did to get this done. Obviously, there's many methods to get leads, to lock down deals. We all know this as people that are part of the Long Island area. But this one worked for us. And in our first shot, did we get lucky? Maybe. But if we didn't, now that we're going to repeat it, then it's something I think everybody should at least give it a shot, especially since it honestly didn't cost us that much. I'm going to have Manny speak on exactly what the deal will entail. But yeah, it wasn't really too crazy. I mean, it depends. Again, depends on your budget, depends on how you're starting. I'm a believer in cold calling, but direct mail works, and that's why we're here. All right. Picking your target market. I'm sure everybody here already has a target market. Right, because we all learn from Mike exactly on what to look for, where to look for it, doing your research. But one thing that I see a lot of people speak on is either being virtual or close to home. I'm a big fan of close to home. I like touching my property. I like seeing it, being able to get there. Virtual is possible though. We obviously know there's people in this group that have done Alabama, Kentucky, and a bunch of other places. But I like close to home. We do Connecticut. I have something in PA. Jersey would be nice. We'll see where we're gonna go from here. But I like to be able to go to the property, speak to my team, whoever is taking control of it, contractors. You know, one of our partners is a contractor, so it kind of works out for us. Things to consider. I might be reiterating stuff, but population growth, right? Like, is it still growing or are people leaving? Job market expanding. Like I say right here, big companies coming to town. That's always a big sign as to where you're gonna head, where you wanna go. It's like, hey, if big companies are coming here, obviously there must be something going on, right? Corporations wanna be wherever there's growth. Crime rate might be something you wanna look into. I'm a big believer in like high crime rate is less competition, but a lot of people don't like hearing that. Yeah, so. Hey, listen, you're thinking about all the negatives. I'm thinking about, hey, until I get all my payments, I'm good. Research the county and city master plan. This is something we did before thinking of investing into Hartford. And every county, every city, I believe, has a master plan, meaning what they plan to do for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Hartford had a really good one. Manny had, I forget her name, but she looked over it with Tammy. Tammy's great, excellent. I didn't forget her name. I'll edit that out. But yeah, so we looked over the master plan and we said, hey, this is where we're going. Then we started researching zip codes, researching different towns, seeing exactly where we wanted to attack. And that's how we ended up where we ended up. Purchasing leads. We use listability, but there are many different avenues. I'm gonna tell you exactly what we did, what we paid. Some people like ListSource. I've used ListSource before when I was originally scouting like the Queens, Nassau County, Suffolk County area. It's great. PropStream is another one. It just depends on what you believe in. Listability, which is better for us because we got great prices on it. It was like 4 cents a lead, which I said there. And our target, what we decided to target, you decide who you want to target. Some people, They want to have properties that are vacant, right? We didn't want vacant. We wanted to find something where someone out of town owned it and we could take over and do a buy and hold. Things might change once you have the property and you see the potential in it, but this is our stack. So absentee owners, meaning out of state. They're not living in the property. Most likely rent it out. 1 to 4 family homes. We might be changing this. We did?
5 to 20?
Oh yeah, he went all out for the last one. So we are changing this. 10 plus years ownership. Now most people advise 5 years. Manny wanted 10, so we did 10. It just gives us a higher probability that they've had the property for a long time and they want to get out of it. 51% equity and above. So going this route does narrow your list a little bit, right? Because it's going to pretty much get rid of anybody that even has 40%, which at that point is good. But we did 51% and above, and again, it worked. We're going to give it a second shot. Hopefully it works again. But we did get a lot of leads currently in the last one we did. Nothing similar to this, probably off by like 500 leads. I said roughly 4 cents a lead. Nothing crazy, nothing out of this world. We had 2,908 leads. Bang boogie. No, you can't read that. But what it says is $125.04. All right, 2,900 leads roughly from listability. The next step after that, so we had the list. We got our parameters in there. Next thing was figuring out an answering system. Now, the woman that taught us suggests this company called Pat Live. Pat Live, I would say anybody starting out, just because you do not know, the return that you're going to get or who's going to actually call back these messages. It just depends on the size of your list. But I suggest starting this one, $59 a month, if you're going to do that route. We didn't, and I'm going to explain why after this. It's $2.25 a minute, 60 cents, but you don't know if you're going to get responses. Once you say, hey, you know what? Every time I purchase a list of 3,000 leads, I'm getting 50 calls. Then I would advise going up, which gives you for $199 a month, you get 75 minutes included, plus $175 for every minute thereafter. This is a service. We have the script in the little pamphlet that we gave you where they answer the call for you. So if you're doing this and you're working full time and you're like, you know what, I can't be answering calls during my job. These people answer the call. They follow the script to the T. If you're afraid, because some people are afraid of answering phones, getting on cold calls. We're used to it because we were in the car biz for years. And over there, they give you like a list, and they're like, here, call them up. And I'm like, there's like 19 months left on this lease. And they're like, all right, figure it out. Get them in here. Your job is just to get people on the floor. So we got used to it. That's how we cut our teeth. Like I said, I'm a cold caller, and I was calling at possibly the worst time in history, but the best time, which is the pandemic. I was working under this gentleman, Chris Jefferson, and it was great because everybody was home. So I got a lot of answers. It was not great because everybody was pissed. And they're like, you're calling me and people are dying, bro. Like, what's up with you? And then I'd have to be like, did the owner of this house die and you want to sell it? So it's kind of messed up, but it was the best time because I got used to rebuttals. I learned over again. I kept hearing the same thing over and over again. So somebody's like, hey, where you get my number from? Hey, listen, third-party service company called LexisNexis. Sometimes I get lucky. You want to sell? And that really was it. And that's kind of like an icebreaker. I do cold calling, and my cold calling script is in there. I follow it to the T. But you get used to it. You learn certain things, certain tactics. You learn different tones. I think in the cold calling thing, I say it, lower tone. There's a point where you get serious and stuff. And it sounds like mind games, but it's not, man. It's psychology. Sometimes, people are in a situation where if I'm losing my home, especially, like something I believe we're going into now, and someone's calling me, I'm getting calls all day. I'm getting inundated with calls. I'm hating life. And you're calling me about taking the only thing that matters to me in this world. You gotta learn tones. You gotta be empathetic. Next, sorry about that. Answering system. Oh yeah, let's hit the button. Manny decided to get a separate cell phone. Why? He said, I don't want anybody answering my calls. I'm not paying anybody. I gotta figure this shit out myself. And that's exactly what he did. So when people were calling, they were calling Manny. Damn, I keep hitting this button. They were calling Manny. We got some interesting calls, right? No one even speaks Spanish on this message, and some guy got really tight, and he's like,
no, my message was in Spanish.
Oh, it was?
Automated, yeah.
Oh, man, why you do that?
I didn't do it. The phone did it.
It's Connecticut, bro. It's like 2 Hispanics. Actually, Manny, can you speak on that gentleman? On that deal?
Which one?
The guy that eventually ended up being a deal.
Oh, our deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we went after the old guys, and I hate to say it, but they're tired. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to kick out the tenants because the tenant's been there for years, and they're just done. And that's what I'm targeting. I want the people who are just fed up and just want to get the hell out of the property. They made their money. They have their money. They collected for years, and they're in their 70s and 80s. You know, Tom's back on.
Oh.
Look at that.
He thought it died.
2 more deals. Possible 2 deals of the same thing. Yeah, he hurt his back. So he's been in traction and stuff like that. I called him today. Oh, we might be go seeing those 2 houses this week.
Okay.
But yeah, you want the people who are just done and you can't, you see guys, you can't find houses on the MLS. It's hard. You're competing with everybody. And then if you do, you got to find a certain niche and all that other good stuff. These people calling you because they're done. I mean, the guy didn't want to get rid of his tenants. He started at 185. I got him down to 135. You know, he's like, I'm just not kicking him out. You got to take care of it. Okay?
But we need this price.
Is 82 in traction, and he's done being a landlord. He's like, I want done with it. And that guy before me, he had 2 other properties. So if I would have caught him a month earlier, I could have bought all 3 properties. So this shit works. It's just out there. And then if you find them, there's so much things you can do with them. Like wholesaling. If you ain't got the money, you ain't got the means, wholesale them. I got people making so much money on wholesale deals, it's not even funny. We picked up another property the other day, and me, Mike, and Patty are doing it. It's a good deal, right, Mike?
It's a great deal.
And I asked Mike, I said, Mike, if you know, Betzalia, if I were to give you that deal right now, how much would you give me for it? He said 20 grand. That's a wholesale deal. I'm in the finance business. I have a guy made all right, I got a deal right now. 2 assignment fees, $80,000 and $135,000. And the bank's gonna buy it because the deal makes sense. It's a $600,000 house they put on the contract. One guy put $80,000 on it. The other girl put $135,000 on it. Our client, which is from here, is gonna pay $815,000, put $100,000 in it, and it's a $1.25 million house. She's gonna make $300 grand. There's possibility. I'm just telling you, it's out there. If you find a deal, there's a way to make money. And this shit works.
That's why you got to be in the game if you want to win the game, right? And what Manny actually pointed out was this. Most of these calls, you got 2 main objectives. This I was taught again by my instructor, the guy that taught me everything, Chris Jefferson. He's like, look, all you're doing is figuring out their motivation and collecting information because you ain't doing nothing else. Don't worry about it. You're not making a sales pitch. Sometimes, yes, we have to anchor people in because there are people on these calls going to be like, what are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? What I do, my tactic is, I usually have my computer right in front of me. I look at their property. I see, all right, Zestimate. I hate Zillow, personally. It's not my thing. But I see a Zestimate is $200K. Listen, if I had to give you a price right now, I'm going to say $100,000. What? $100,000? My property's worth? Bang. Usually, they'll throw out the number that they believe. Usually. Sometimes they'll be like, nah, buddy, find somebody else. Wait. So then, what did you have in mind? Because I can't read your mind. You're still not giving me the information I need. If you give me the information I need, maybe I can do better. Like, let's find out. And then when you have that conversation is where these are little tactics, like I said, that you pick up while you're doing these calls because you'll realize everybody has pretty much the same walls, right? Like everybody pretty much has the same fear that you're just calling them, trying to swindle them. They get these calls all the time. Your differentiating factor is going to be preparation, right? Preparation. Most people just grab a list and start calling. I practice like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I practice all the time. While I'm driving, I'm making up fake calls in my head. I'm not even joking. This is what I do. I've done this all the time. Like I make videos on YouTube. YouTube.com/handsomeman and check me out. But when this will be on there. No, but when I do these videos, like people always ask me, like, yo, why are you so confident? Like how does it fly off? I'm like, I'm practicing all day. Like I don't have a script, but in my head I'm practicing. Same thing with cold calling. Once I didn't include it here. I'll give you guys my numbers at the end to just, if you want to get it, it's a rebuttal sheet. And I created this during the pandemic. Once I got used to hearing the same shit over and over again, certain questions, I would just write it down. Boom, boom, boom. So you have an answer. And I would practice that. I practice that more than I practice a call script. All right, you got to have rebuttals in tow. Manny like this because his idea is, look, when you're cold calling, you're just prying into someone's life. If this person gets a mailer and takes the time to actually respond, there's motivation. You don't know what the motivation is. You know, it could be, hey, my family has owned this house for the last 60 years. And I just want to know what it costs. We own it clear and free. And they might not be interested in selling. But most of the time, if they're calling back, there has to be at least 7.8% interest. I made that number up, but still, I think it's a good number to think about. So I'll make sure everybody's awake.
Let me ask you a quick question. So I'm hearing, so we have met a couple of mentoring students that used to do cold calling, and it's almost a reoccurring theme. So one of the houses a guy came up with, who's actually a very interesting mentoring student because he lives in Milwaukee, and he actually took Melissa's class, and he guaranteed Melissa he'd get a deal for her to pay for the mentoring program, and he got a deal in Waterbury. And the deal was that we would buy the house, never tell the tenants, and then do whatever we wanted with the tenants. And she would like sneak out in the middle of the night, because her motivation was she didn't want to face the tenants because she knew them for the last 25 years. So that sounds like the same theme over and over again. You know, you're the landlord, you live in the building, you know everybody for 25 years, you never raise the rent. Because one of these apartments was 3 bedrooms, looked like a museum, stained glass windows. She started them $650. The market rent was $1,350 any day of the week.
Listen, pain points. People got pain, like that's a pain point you wouldn't even think about, right? Like you're over here like, what's so tough about telling the tenant they gotta go? It's tough, man. When you build a relationship with somebody and you're at that point where it's like, I'm not doing this. Like the one we took over.
Like I said, I knew this family for 40 years.
Yeah.
I want to kick them out. Okay.
They were paying like $800 a month. Market rent there is $1,400.
Wow.
$1,400. Manny came in and he said, you're paying $1,500. I said, bro, just bring it down a little bit. Nah, I'm messing up. Nah, Manny was fair. Manny was actually very fair, and not for nothing, that's something that matters to me, right? That's something that matters to us. These are homeowners, right? These are people that, they have properties. You may not look at it as just another number, but a lot of times they have ties to it that you don't know. This could have paid for their kid's college, and it's like some sore spot where their kid disowned them, something crazy happens, and that's their attachment to the home. But you find that during these calls. Just figuring out the motivation. Handwritten mailers. So this was, again, the next step. I believe you guys have it in there. This is what we use.
There's Robin's letter and our letter.
Yeah, so the first one is Robin's letter. Very nice. It has horsies. But we are nowhere near horse country. So our decision was, let's switch it up. This company actually asked for Lindsay. I didn't put it on the slide. I made a mistake. She's real cool. She's awesome. She'll listen to everything you say. Yeah. We use a3marketingletters.net. Damn, did we put it in here? No, we didn't. You can write it down. We changed to the American flag, right? Everybody in Connecticut is patriotic. They still, hold on to like 1776. So we figured, hey, we got to make sure you got to know your demographic. They're handwritten envelopes, right? So what they charge is, it's kind of ridiculous, but for 1,000 mailers is $125. If you do 999 mailers, it's $127.
How's it ridiculous when the stamp 60 cents, the envelope's 10 cents, the copy's 10 cents?
No. Ridiculous is the price difference, bro.
Oh, how cheap it is.
Like 2 cents.
As in a good ridiculous.
Oh,
So if you're at $9.99, write your own address, get it to 1,000, or you'll be paying $19.98 extra. But this is it. It's handwritten. The mailer is literally like, it has typos and all these things in it to make it seem more realistic. Like somebody actually sat there and typed it up. The signature on it is written. You see it here. We got a couple of returners. Nah. I mean, you can. Like that's another thing. Depending on, like I said it before, depending on the size of your list, right? Depending on your time allotment. If you have like 3 kids and they do nothing with their life, they're just playing video games all day, it's like, yo, guess what we're doing for the next 2 hours? Sit down, we're writing down addresses. That's it. Not even better.
My kids.
Yeah.
I paid them $10 for an hour.
That's it. If they write it icky, even better.
Even better.
Right? Because it looks like, damn, this is real. This person really cares. They took time out to do this. That's the cool thing about this mailer.
Their children to work.
No, they don't know. You can't say that either.
My kids.
You know what? You can give you an incentive. Listen, if you have like a 16-year-old, be like, look, anything I close, you get 2.8%. They wouldn't like that commission. So yeah, these are the handwritten mailers. These are pretty cool. I got the invoice right here. So all together, you got 125. For the mailers, we did 2 separate ones. So we sent 2,000 first, then we sent the last 910. Afterward, all together it was 2558 plus 1183. I did the math before. I'm not like some math whiz. It was about $3,900 all together to get a deal that will possibly net us $1 million. I'm bullshitting. I don't know what it's gonna net us. I just follow Manny blindly, man. We could probably be in the red and I wouldn't know. I'm just like, yeah, bro, let's do it. Whatever you say, mailers it is. It ended up working out. So that's kind of my whole message. I say, whatever method you're trying, once again, figure out your budget, figure out your end goal, figure out what is it that you see this business bringing into your life. Like, we're going into 2023. I don't know if anybody's paying attention. Yeah, the news is saying otherwise, but I believe personally we are already in a recession. Right? I believe the game is about to change. Once the Fed starts saying there's a 50-50 chance, there's a 112% chance. That's it. Because they've been saying forever and a day, no, things are okay. Inflation is up 6-7%. Yeah, that's normal. It's not. So if you're going to take this, take it serious. Like I said, my cold calling letter is in here as well. If you need more information on that, I'm available for real estate purposes. Hardmoneyhandsome.com.
Now, in New York, it's illegal to do cold calling. So were you just making your cold calls for Connecticut? And what's the cold calling?
Off the record, I had cold call in New York.
Okay.
It's illegal?
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Really?
I've done it off the record.
Yeah.
Well,
When
wait,
they passed that law?
so
when the
what's the
pandemic hit.
enforcement?
Yeah.
So it's illegal, so it's speeding.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at is do not do it, but I have.
Well, what happens, how do they catch you?
They make a complaint to the do not call registry, or if like you're me and I'm a
All
real
right, so
estate agent.
hello, my name's Mike. You son of a bitch, I'm on the do not call list. Click. Okay.
Right,
How do they
right.
get you?
Oh, if you have caller ID on. So for me, if I'm going to do the cold calling, if I would do cold calling, I would be calling from my Google Voice number. Good luck tracing that.
Right. Okay.
But I am a real estate agent, so I have to disclose I'm a real estate agent.
Right, so, but you're doing cold calling from a Google phone, and I don't know, I don't think the state of New York is really going to track you down.
You want to know my method?
But it's a,
I use batch dialer, right? It's a dialer. So there's call tools, batch dialers, Mojo dialer. You can pick a number from anywhere, right? You mask, I gotta edit this out. You mask your IP address via VPN. Nobody's gonna know who's who, what's what. I still have done it from my cell phone, so because it's like Mike says, what are the chances? If somebody does say, hey, I'm on a do not call list, my apologies. Click.
quick, right.
If you push it and you get caught, there's a problem.
Well, actually, what is the problem?
How you get a fine?
Yeah.
Like, what are they
I would guess it's just a fine.
There's services.
It's called a risk-reward ratio.
There you
There's
go.
services that do.
Here's what makes successful.
Risk reward.
Risk reward ratio.
I'll take the
There's
$25 fine
voiceless
any day.
Yeah.
How many fines till you get
Voiceless
locked up?
voicemail
That's the question.
Goes directly to voicemail.
Yes.
So you could do that. So your phone rings, and I get this all the time, it's spam, from my extended car warranty.
I know.
Voiceless voicemail. There's services that do that. The phone rings for a second, it hangs up, and then you get a voicemail.
Yeah.
So that I'm not.
It doesn't even ring.
Or sometimes.
You see the voicemail pop up and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And then there's other services that will do text. And text, everybody reads their text. Nobody like me. I get people telling me, Chris, your voicemail is full. I'm like, shit. And I have to delete
I
it.
don't have to.
Right, but I bet you check your text.
Always.
There are there are CRMs and there's other systems out there that will let you text
They do direct
numbers, direct
It's like
text.
direct email.
Don't we have this somewhere?
And you could put a link in that. Hey,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't they got
blah,
Drop
blah, blah.
Cowboy, is it?
No, we
What's
have-
Drop
Drop Cowboy does
That's
that,
that,
right? Like
right?
the one that my mentor, the one that taught me the cold calling, Chris Jefferson has, is called Charged Up Reply, and it's literally a full system. It's not like on the most are familiar with the high level system. It's pretty much similar to it, but that's what it does. It allows for voicemail. It allows for SMS. That's when you start getting to the next level stuff.
Voiceless,
Voiceless
we
voicemails.
got that shit. It's cheap.
Ringless voicemail. Sorry, ringless.
We haven't used that in a long time.
It's illegal to solicit, but you're not soliciting. I'm providing information.
I like
That's
this.
how
I mean,
we
it all
get,
depends
that's
on
how we get around it.
Yo.
I'm not asking. I'm not-
Adding this to the repertoire.
I'm asking you want to sell.
I'm providing.
I'm like, yo, I'm not soliciting right now.
Investors.
I'm helping you out.
Properties in your neighborhood. I was wondering if you were aware of anybody who wants to sell.
You're not soliciting a
them.
service.
You're
Right.
just providing a service. No, I don't know anybody, don't call me. Okay, thanks. Bye.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to.
Listen, that's the importance
I'll call you again.
of this. That's the importance of being in a network, right? Like being part of, say, Long Island Rio, whatever group you're in. There's people that have tactics to get past anything you might meet, right? Not saying that everybody has the answers, but the answer's always out there. And if you guys have any questions,
Ask Manny.
that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you were here. No. Let's put it into action, though, please.